Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Language Learning Podcast. My name is Siad, and this is my vlog, video, podcast thing where I talk about experiments happening in my language learning life. And today I have a little bit of what I'll call a tool review, in that I wanted to do a sort of brief-ish review of this particular book that I just showed. And this is Gramática Medio B1 by ANAYA ELE. It's a publisher, and it is, as it says, it's a grammar book, and this is the B1. I don't have the A level books just because I don't, but I have several of these books. I really think that this is a great publisher if you are a person who cares deeply about learning Spanish in particular, and cares about details, wants to really understand all of the different points and reference points, and is probably going to take the DELE exam. So that's who I think this book is good for. And I wanted to talk about this book for a couple of reasons. The first one being that online, I have not found many video reviews of this book or many written reviews of this book as well. That doesn't mean that people don't use it. I know that they use it because this is one of several editions of this book. Like, there is a newer edition that I don't have, but I know people use it. And so I just wanted to, as a regular person doing mostly self-study Spanish at this point, I wanted to provide a little bit of a review. Also, this book was the first book that I finished this year in terms of language learning textbooks. And so my initial goal with this particular book was to complete it in 1 month. Now there are, 34 lessons or units, and I wanted to complete it January 2026. I didn't do that because I got sick about the last part of January, but I was able to kind of pick up where I left off and finish what I consider to be finish the book. So I'll start with how I went through the book, just as a brief overview. So I initially had started the book when I had a lot of extra time. I probably didn't have that much time, but I felt like I did. So I was going through meticulously, and I was taking notes on each of the lessons and then doing all of the exercises for each lesson. So again, for a little bit of context with this particular book, each lesson goes over one grammar point, and they sort of build on each other throughout the book. So it goes over one grammar. It provides lots and lots of examples, some written overview, and then it provides a couple pages, sometimes 2, 3, 4 pages of exercises for you to do. So initially, when I started doing this book, I was taking notes on each of the lessons, and then I was going through and doing all of the exercises. That quickly became a lot, which was fine. The point of it was to be a lot, but I was really just focused on using this book as a review. And so about halfway through, I noticed that I didn't need to take notes on every single one of the grammar topics, because I had taken notes and there are also things that I already understand. So I didn't need to do that anymore. And I also didn't do all the exercises. And I think at some point I'll make another video about books, textbooks, and grammar exercises, or exercises and doing the all 100% of them. But it just felt like if I've done 7 of the 10 or 6 of the 9, I've probably done enough. And I also was really, again, just focused on kind of finishing it. So I wouldn't say that I was speed running the book, but maybe you could say I speed ran the book. And there were a few lessons that I did skip. There were a couple primarily on the subjunctive, because I have another book that I'm going to do that's just about the subjunctive, and I didn't didn't want to do those lessons. It was a few. So by and large, I did still finish the book and most of the exercises, of course, more than half of the exercises. So I'm going to call it finished for me. So that's kind of how I used this particular book. And again, I think if you're a person who wants a lot of detail, this book is really, really perfect for you. So a few caveats about this book, sort of maybe some cons or negatives about this particular edition, is that there was no audio. And I like to, if I can, use things that have audio. A lot of their other books and newer editions do have audio, but I think this is an edition from the early 2000s, so there was no audio. Some people might think that this is too much, and I would say that if you're a person who doesn't like books, like textbooks learning, this is definitely not the book for you. Another con is that I think these books in this particular series are really designed to be used sequentially, like one after another. And so me coming in, kind of slotting myself in at the middle of the book series was fine, because I think I totally understand all the content, but they make a lot of references to the A2 book and this page and this lesson, and how the lessons build and kind of thread on each other. So if that bothers you, I would say maybe get the other books. There are ways to obtain the other books online, so I'll let you do with that what you wish. Overall, I enjoyed the book. I wouldn't have finished it the way that I finished it if I hadn't enjoyed it. And I would say, again, if you're a person who really cares or wants to learn detailed grammar points and is really focused on your ability to write and produce in another language, and you want to know, again, why things are the way they are, then I think that this is a great book for you. For me, I love these books. I've bought most of the books in their kind of series of the books that look like this, and I'll link to those books down below so that you can see what I'm talking about. But I am a person who is going to take the B2 DELE exam and hopefully at some point C2, and wants to produce and write things in Spanish. So for me, it's an investment in a way in my ability to produce languages, and to produce Spanish in particular, is to understand the grammar on this kind of a detailed level. So that is a little bit about this particular book. As I complete books in this series, I will do what I call tool review videos about them. And then I will also do written reviews. I think on a new kind of website thing that I've created. I know I've moved this 10 times, but nonetheless, I'm sticking with this one. So eventually there will also be a written review there. But yeah, that is my review of ANAYA ELE's Gramática Medio B1 book. So thanks so much for watching, listening, and subscribe wherever you happen to watch or listen to this little thing that I do. And I will be back soon with the next episode of the Language Learning Podcast. Thanks so much.